In this lesson, we are going to check out our three basic rolls: single strokes, double strokes, and buzz rolls. And when would you likely play each of them? Now, sometimes people will say that particular rudiments and techniques are like genre specific. I have heard more than once that the buzz roll is the classical roll. That's what a classical snare drummer would use in an orchestra. Sure, but so do jazz drummers and theatre pit drummers. I've heard rock drummers play it, Latin American drummers use it, and so on. And people might say, oh, single stroke, dugga-dugga-dugga-dugga-dugga. That's what a rock drummer would use around their toms. Yeah, but timpani players use it when they're rolling on timpani, and if you're rolling on the wooden keyboard instruments like xylophone and marimba, you'll use a single stroke roll there as well. You'll use it with mallets on a suspended cymbal. So I don't think of the rudiments as being genre specific at all. To me, they're just tools in the toolbox, and if you're going to be a drummer or a percussionist in today's industry, you just have to know all your rudiments, all your techniques, right? Because it gives you more options. You can play more musically, you can play lots of different styles, and so forth. So let's just talk first of all about the single stroke roll. A single stroke is where you alternate your sticks right left. It doesn't matter what speed, and it doesn't matter what dynamic. It could be really soft, could be really loud. If you're playing it really fast because you're rolling, or if you're playing it slow like I was just doing, okay, that is a single stroke. So anytime you've heard, like I said at the start, dugga 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 dugga, you've heard that around the toms, or you've heard the herta, bruta 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 boom boom but whatever it is, they are often single strokes. Because a single stroke is really articulate. You're loading up on every stroke. You can get a really articulate sound from each stick with a single stroke. So it does work really well around toms. We use it on timpani. We use it as a roll on the timpani. You'd very rarely, if ever, use a double stroke or a buzz roll on a timpani. We use it, as I said, when we're rolling on keyboard percussion and so forth. Suspended cymbal with mallets, that's a single stroke roll. Okay? The next one is the double stroke roll, and basically if you take a single stroke and you then do 2 notes per hand, it's a double stroke, right? So we've now got right, right, then left, left. Now this is otherwise known as the open roll, and the reason for that is when I speed it up, have a listen to the sound. Now, even at the fast speed, it still has that kind of machine gun type sound, and not surprisingly, it's used in a lot of military style snare drumming. Anytime you hear a march, right, that sort of thing, they're often using a double stroke roll. Okay, so a double stroke, the technique changes when you go from slow to fast. Sometimes it's hard to catch when it's all happening really quickly, but you notice when I was playing it slow, I was double wristing, all right? So I'm coming up and down twice per hand, and that's a good thing to do at a slow and a medium tempo. The wrist is really good for control. It's very strong, it's very stable, but it's not fast. So we use it here, and when I get to about here, when I get to that kind of medium fast tempo, I start to change over into the technique that I will then use from then on out, all the way up to very fast, and that is one wrist and a finger snap. Okay, now if you've not developed the ability to snap the stick into the fingers, right, just do this exercise with me. Put one elbow on your other hand, let the stick come back like this, right, so the wrist is straight, and then only using the fingers, this is an isolation exercise to wake up the fingers, snap the stick into the palm. Now, I don't know, I'll hear it on the playback, but I don't know if that's coming through my vocal mic or not, but I know when I do this and I don't have earplugs in, I can hear the stick snap into my palm. Same on the other hand. Sitting in front of the TV, you want to do this, right? This is going to wake up the fingers to be able to snap the stick, because this is going to get you an even double stroke once you build it into the rest of the technique. So what I'm doing there is at this faster speed, you can see that my wrist is actually only going down then up once, right? I'm not double wristing. I was when it was slow. Great idea for when it's slow. Terrible idea when it's fast. So how am I getting 2 notes? Because the finger snap, okay? And it happens real quick, just like that. Let's have a look at the other hand. I'm not double wristing. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. Now, if you can do that with both hands, you just have to alternate them. Right? And that's how you end up with a really strong but clear and precise sounding roll. And that's for if it's soft as well. It's the same technique. I'm just dropping it from lower. I'm still absolutely using a finger snap when it's really low to the drum and I'm trying to play really soft. Okay? So that's a double stroke. Occasionally you'll see people go, oh, double stroke, yeah. It suddenly turns into a buzz roll. No, that's cheating and you haven't developed a double stroke roll, right? Double stroke still sounds open, okay? Now let's get to the closed roll, the buzzed roll. So the buzz roll, which sounds like this, okay, and all of our rolls can be either doubled or buzzed. We know we can do like a 5-stroke as a double. We can do it as a buzz. 9-stroke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Buzz. Okay, so a buzz roll, it doesn't help the beginning student that the buzz roll has like 5 or 6 different names. Over time, I have heard this roll referred to as the buzz roll, the press roll, the multiple bounce roll, the closed roll, the concert roll, and the orchestral roll. That's really not great, is it, if you're just starting out? Very confusing. Don't even get me started on percussion instruments, right? The glockenspiel is otherwise known as bells or orchestra bells, but not sleigh bells or tubular bells. Tubular bells, which some people call chimes, but not bar chimes, which everyone thinks is wind chimes, which is what your grandma has on her front porch, but it's not. It's bar chimes. It's actually called a mark tree, invented by Mark Stevens in 1967. Let's not go there. Yes, I've had a coffee. So the buzz roll. First of all, why do we do it? And then how do we do it? Well, the buzz roll is a really effective way of getting a legato sound out of a staccato instrument. It's pretty much as simple as that. The snare drum has a short staccato sound. A cymbal does not. A cymbal rings on and has sustain. A snare drum doesn't have any sustain, pretty much. Yes, we know we can have snare drums that might ring on and this, that, and the other, and you might, put dampening and muffling and snare wires and all that sort of stuff, but basically it's a short sound. So how do you get a long sound out of a short sounding instrument? Well, we don't have the luxury like a piano player does of pressing the key longer or putting a sustain pedal. We can't blow more air through our instrument like wind and brass instruments can. So we've got to manipulate the sticks and manipulate the drum head to give us a legato sound. Right? It's a different sound to the double stroke, isn't it? It's the same length roll in either case, different sound and completely different technique. So what are we doing with the buzz roll? How do we get it to sound so smooth and joined like that? Okay, what we do is we first of all need each stick to be able to buzz, and then we join them together and we overlap them, and I'll get into that in a second. But the first thing you want to do is squeeze. I do it, there's a couple of different ways people do it. I do it between the thumb and both the first and the second finger, meaning the index and middle finger, and you squeeze here and you squeeze the stick into the head. Some people do it right at the front of the grip. They squeeze just here like this. That's certainly a valid way of doing it. Plenty of people do that. I just do it this way. All right, now try not to let your fingers come off the stick like I just did then, but the back 2 fingers will need to come off the stick, because if they don't, then it's going to inhibit the vibration, and the vibration is the buzz, right? So don't stick your fingers out like that, sure, but they do need to come off the stick to facilitate the buzz, okay? And what you want is a long buzz, as long a buzz as you can get with each stick, basically, okay? Now, people play in different areas of the drum. I'm going to go to the top angle for this. I generally play about here. Some people play right towards the edge. You'll get more overtones and harmonics in the sound if you do, so it's certainly an option. Some people play more towards the center. I play about here. Depends a little bit on the sound that I'm going for, okay? You also might want to go directly above the snare wires, so that'd be about here, instead of, right, that's a different sound as well. They're all considerations. One's not right and wrong, it's just a different sound. So I'm gonna squeeze the stick into the head, and I want as long a buzz as I can get. Now, if I squeeze too hard, it's going to sound really short, and if I squeeze not enough, it's going to take a while to buzz, right? So you have to find that middle ground where it sounds good, but doesn't die out prematurely. Now, once you can do that with both hands, and that will take time, especially with your weaker hand, or the hand that you don't write with, that might take a while to get it going. What you want to do is alternate like I'm doing right now, and I'm doing it really slow. Now, at this slower speed, we can see and hear that there is a gap in between the strokes. That's fine because we're just practicing our buzzers and alternating at the moment. We're not trying to actually play a roll yet. But when we speed it up, we start to get into the all-important overlap. And the overlap is basically the key to the whole thing. And so overlap meaning that we start the next buzz before the previous buzz has finished, and we just keep doing that. So we overlap this one, and then we overlap the next one, and then we overlap the next one. And that's the key to the whole thing. So even at a slow tempo like this, we can still get a sense that there's overlap, right? There's no gaps, there's no silence in between. I'm not doing this. Right, there's no breaks. Yes, of course, we can hear the hand change, and that's fine, but we're trying to start to get that sense of overlap. And the good news is, if you can buzz with both hands, you don't have to go a whole lot faster than that before it actually sounds like a buzz roll. So I'll start there, now a little quicker. So at that speed, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, it's starting to sound like a roll. I'd still go a little quicker, but I just do that to illustrate that I'm only going at this speed. That's not quick. It's not like, right? I'm not actually playing a fast single stroke, and also, which I'll explain in a second, you can't actually go too quick with a buzz roll because you won't allow the sticks time to buzz. But anyway, so I'd go a little quicker than that. I'd go about here, right? Now, if you want to learn heaps and heaps of different patterns and ways that you can use the buzz roll, get your free subscription below of I Can Play Drums Pro, because we have so many lessons on this. However, let's continue on. So that's how you play a buzz roll. So what you want to do at this point is go through all your rudiments from the rudiment list and play them all as buzz. So I'll just do that really quickly for you. Fives, or you can start with the accent. Sixes. Sixes with that kind of triplet feel. Seven. Seven with the left. Seven as like triplets. Nines. Left. Right. 10. 11. 13. Da. Da. 15. Was that a 15? I think that's 15 and 17. Etc. I'll have to check that. I don't know if I got that right. But yeah, that's basically how you play a buzz roll. And of course, you can play a buzz roll like I did a lesson on this with stick shots. You can do like, you can end with a stick shot. Right, jazz drummers do that a lot, and different things, okay? So there you go, guys. That's single strokes, double strokes, and the buzz roll. Important to know, they're not the same thing, especially double strokes and buzz rolls. Sometimes a bit of grey area there. Which one is it? They are a different sound and a different technique. Okay, so make sure you're practicing them all. I'd practice all three of them in your warm-up at the start of your practice session. Why not? You know, the more you do them, the better you're going to get at it. But yeah, singles, doubles, and buzzers. That's the three main roles. Be sure to click the link below for instant access to your free 7-day trial of I Can Play Drums Pro.